Gervonta Tank Davis takes shots at Terence Crawford after he beat Canelo Alvarez and became a three-weight class undisputed champion, the first boxer in history to achieve this accomplishment. You know what I'm saying? And Gervonta Tank Davis, who obviously has nothing better to do with his life, right? He has a fight coming up with Jake Paul, an exhibition fight. I don't even think Gervonta Tank Davis is training for this fight. We were supposed to get the rematch with Lamont Roach Jr., who everybody thinks beat Gervonta Davis. The only people who don't think Lamont Roach won that fight is Gervonta Davis's his Glazers, right? His do boys, right? His butt buddies, right? People that got Gervonta Tank Davis posters on their wall, you know what I'm saying? His little minions. Those are the only people that think he won that fight. You know, the fight ended in a draw. Gervonta Tank Davis took a knee after almost getting dropped, ran to the corner to wipe his eyes, talking about he had grease from the braids in his eyes, you know what I'm saying? That's cap, bro. Your eyes wasn't even red. You was getting your ass whooped, bro. And you knew Lamont Roach was about to potentially drop you or knock your ass out, so you wanted to go save some time to recover. We're not stupid, bro. You know what I'm saying? So instead of giving him a rematch, you take a fight with Jake Paul, an exhibition fight, not even a real professional boxing fight. This fight's not going to go on your professional boxing record. And you have the audacity to diss Terence Crawford, who just beat the face of boxing, Saul Canelo Alvarez, who was undefeated at the 168-pound weight class, only had a loss to Dimitri Bivol and Floyd Mayweather Jr., and he's been running boxing for the past 12 to 15 years. You know what I'm saying? And you have the audacity to diss Terence Crawford. So this is what Gervonta Davis had to say, y'all. And you guys know Gervonta Davis is a soft, light-skinned nigga. So he tweeted this and quickly deleted it, right? So he said, the dick riding is crazy, ... And then he deleted the tweet. That's what he's been doing his whole career. Gervonta Davis is always out here talking about other men, hating, and then deleting the tweet like a little pussy. You know what I'm saying? So Gervonta Davis and Terence Crawford, they have a long history of beefing with each other. Gervonta Davis and Terence Crawford, these guys just don't like each other. You know what I'm saying? These guys don't like each other at all, right? So I'm going to read you guys some tweets from the past that have been shared between Terence Crawford and Gervonta Tank Davis, right? So Terence Crawford said, Tank fought a 38 out-of-prime fighter with a torn Achilles and barely KO'd him. That's a fact. He's talking about Gamboa. I saw that fight. I saw that entire fight, and Gamboa literally had a torn Achilles and was having a lot of success against Gervonta Tank Davis. Gervonta Tank Davis barely was able to KO him. Like, if Gamboa would have won all 12 rounds, that fight could have ended in a draw because the fight was close. Gamboa was doing this thing. I think if Gamboa didn't tear his Achilles, I think he would have won that fight. You know what I'm saying? Terence Crawford beat Gamboa with ease, and Devin Haney beat Gamboa with ease. No, Terence Crawford knocked out Gamboa. You know, everybody talks about how Gamboa wobbled Terence Crawford, but he knocked out Gamboa in that same round or the very next round, right? He beat him in a more decisive fashion than Gervonta Tank Davis, and so did Devin Haney, right? So let's continue reading this. He said, Gamboa haven't fought in a meaningful fight since me in 2014. After that, he got stopped by a guy with 12 losses, and y'all making it seem like he do something spectacular. So Gervonta Davis responded and said, that same guy, Gamboa, touched you up in the first 4 to 5 rounds, and you was the bigger guy, and he hurt you. I never lost one round. He barely touched me, and I moved up in weight. Gervonta Davis, that's cap. He touched you. To say Gamboa barely touched you, that's a lie, right? He didn't hurt you. He didn't almost drop you, but he damn sure was touching you up in that fight, bro. Don't lie like that, bro. And Terence Crawford fought a younger Gamboa that arguably was still in his prime. You fought a 38-year-old Gamboa with a torn Achilles, so you can't even compare your fight with Gamboa to Terence Crawford's fight with Gamboa. You're being facetious, my guy. You know what I'm saying? So Gervonta Davis goes on to say, it took Crawford 12 rounds to KO Benavidez. He's referring to David Benavidez's younger brother, Jose Benavidez. He said, Benavidez was shot in the leg 8 times and hasn't been in the ring for a year before the fight. Then in his last fight, he got worked by a guy who wasn't even champion. Terence Crawford responds and says, "Hey, best friend, I bet both will beat you though, fat boy." So let's share some more tweets. So now we're going to share some tweets around the time that Terence Buck Crawford first started working with Turkey Alashik. We all know Turkey Alashik has the biggest bag in boxing. He is the savior of boxing, right? And he's giving guys their biggest career paydays. You know what I'm saying? Gervonta Tank Davis has not worked with Turkey Alashik yet because he claims that he's being loyal to the PBC and Al Heyman, which makes no sense because Turkey Alashik does fights with PBC fighters. So Al Heyman is in business with Turkey Alashik, right? So let me read you guys this tweet, right? Terence Crawford basically was clowning Gervonta Tank Davis. He said, "I see somebody mad they wasn't invited to the At Ring Magazine gala." Tank responded and said, "And I still make more than you." Now that's true, right? Now you're saying something that's actually true. Gervonta Tank Davis, who is only 30 years old, he probably has made more money in his career than Terence Buck Crawford, specifically based off of that fight with him and Ryan Garcia, which is one of the biggest pay-per-view selling fights in boxing history, right? So we can't argue with you about that, Tank. You do get the bag, plus you're about to fight Jake Paul. You most definitely have made more money than Terence Buck Crawford in the sport of boxing, right? So Terence Crawford says, "First thing a dumb rich person say to another rich person is, 'I got more money than you.' I bet you I got more investments than you when I don't owe $1 in taxes. You can't buy nothing I can't buy that I want, sir. That's a fact. Let me see who money lasts the longest, smart guy." Now, that is true, man. Gervonta Tank Davis does have tax problems. Allegedly, he owes millions of dollars to the IRS. And Terence Buck Crawford is bragging about the fact that he's into real estate. But I heard Gervonta Davis is into real estate too. I heard he ended up buying back some condo or apartment buildings in one of the projects over there in Baltimore, man. So, you know, shout out to Gervonta Tank Davis for getting into real estate. I'm not just a hater. I'm going to always keep it fair on both sides. So Gervonta Davis responds and says, "Y'all think he's chasing greatness. He's not that. What we have to do..." Wait, what did he say? "Y'all think he chasing greatness. He's not. That's what he have to do to make decent money. Fuck boys." So we found out that was cap, man, because if he was just chasing money, he would have lost to Canelo Alvarez. So we found out that was a lie, right? That was you just hating on Terence Buck Crawford getting that Turkey Alashik bag, man. You know what I'm saying? Instead of hating Gervonta Davis, why don't you join the party? If you fight Shakur Stevenson, I guarantee you, or if you fight Devin Haney, you can fight Devin Haney, Shakur, Teo. I guarantee you Turkey Alashik will give you the biggest payday of your career. That's a fact. Because he knows how valuable you are to the sport of boxing. You know what I'm saying? So Terence Crawford goes on to say, "By the way, little guy, don't speak too soon because you definitely not making more than me. Fight who you been fighting. That's why you talking about fighting Ryan Garcia again." So Terence Buck Crawford is claiming that he's getting paid more than Gervonta Davis by taking these fights with Turkey Alashik. So who knows? Maybe with the fight that Terence Crawford had with Israel Majimov and Canelo Alvarez, maybe if you combine those paydays together, maybe Terence Buck Crawford has made more than Gervonta Tank Davis has in his fight with Ryan Garcia and all his other fights combined. You never know, because one thing about it is Turkey Alashik doesn't reveal how much he pays his fighters. That's between him and the fighter. So we never really know. We do know Turkey Alashik does pay very well though, man. So let's see. We got more tweets. Here goes a tweet from Gervonta Tank Davis. He said, 40 years old and just now getting on and still don't have no say-so. And he got like 8 kids and his wife like 380 pounds. Yeah, buddy. Work overtime. See, Gervonta Tank Davis, this is what gets niggas popped in the streets, bro. Like, why are you bringing up this man's wife, bro? Why are you bringing up Terence Buck Crawford's wife, and why are you weight shaming this man's wife, bro? This is the man's wife who is the mother of his 6 out of 7 kids. Because, you know, Terence Buck Crawford just had a kid with another woman. He revealed that on Shannon Sharp's Club Shay Shay podcast. Check that out. But this man shares like 6 kids with the same woman, bro. That's the mother of this kid, of his kids, man. Why are you disrespecting the man's baby mama, bro? Now, if Terence Bud Crawford see you in real life and do something to you, you can't get mad because you're taking this outside of boxing. You're making this a personal thing. That's how you know Gervonta Tank Davis is a fuckboy, bro. That's how you know he's not an honorable man, bro. That's how you know he was raised without a father. Because real men don't do stuff like this. Real men, we don't hit below the belt. Every real man knows don't ever bring up somebody's kids, don't bring up somebody's parents, and don't bring up somebody's baby mom or wife, man, significant other. You leave them out of this. You understand what I'm saying? Because she has nothing to do with this. So, yeah, man, that's pretty much all of the tweets. You know what I'm saying? Terence Bud Crawford and Gervonta Davis. Listen, Terence Crawford said that he would actually fight Gervonta Tank Davis in the ring, and Gervonta Davis pump fake like he was actually gonna do it, and then in the interview he said he was just playing, he wasn't serious. So, you know, this guy's just he's a tweeter and deleter, man. He's tough on Twitter. Won't even rematch Lamont Rhodes Jr. Scared to fight Devin Haney. Had to fight Ryan Garcia on a rehydration clause so he can come into the ring weak. You know, he wouldn't give Isaac Pitbull Cruz a rematch, who I think beat him. I think Tank has already lost twice, in my opinion. I think he lost to Pitbull, and I think he lost to Lamont Rhodes Jr. And I wouldn't be surprised if after this Jake Paul fight next month or in November, he's probably going to retire from the sport of boxing, bro. I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen, man. But Gervonta Davis, instead of tweeting on Twitter, fight Terence Bud Crawford in the ring. Hit up Turkey Alashik. Get you another payday after your Jake Paul fight. And I would love to see Terence Bud Crawford knock you the fuck out so we can get you out of boxing. So with that being said, man, it's your boy Wavy, Stay Wavy TV. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure y'all subscribe, thumbs up that video, leave a comment. I appreciate y'all for watching, man. I'm out.